We've been there. And it is also then associated more with the political class who've been pushing that agenda. That today we see the same being repeated. One asks the question, is tribalism or negative ethnicity a campaign material for the political class?
It's an easy mobilization tool. For example,
because it's emotive.
We are actually not just emotive, it's just easy.
Okay.
We are seated here. I don't know what tribe you are from. By the way, it's for real.
Yes.
I've never thought about asking what community you come from so that we can have this conversation.
Yes.
You know, when we come to have a conversation, we talk about now we're talking about tribalism. I'm not interpreting what you're saying on the lens of where you come from. I'm just dealing with what you're saying as it is. Now, what has happened in this country, because we've been unable to hold politicians to account for what they say, they pick what they think is the easiest tool. So if you're running for office in Mount Kenya region, and majority of the people in Mount Kenya region are Kikuyu, then you make it a Kikuyu conversation. You forget that Kiambu, 30% of the people in Kiambu are not
cosmopolitan area.
Yes, are not Kikuyu.
Yeah.
But when you go to Kiambu, you speak like everybody in Kiambu is Kikuyu. Then you go to Nakuru, and that's now what's complicating our politics. When you hear politicians saying sisi watu wa Rift Valley, the politician is speaking about a community. But now, because you're trying to be careful, you don't want to say sisi wa Kalenjin. You're saying sisi watu ya Rift Valley. But everybody in Rift Valley is not Kalenjin. Everybody in Mount Kenya is not Kikuyu. When you say sisi wa Pwani, you're speaking about the local traditional communities of Pwani, but you go and find 40% of coast is Kamba. You go and find another percentage is Kikuyu. So the voter, and I keep throwing this thing at voters. I remember I went for a funeral recently, and you know when politicians are given a microphone, now these days the priests first say, and you remember where you are. You are warned before you speak. And I challenged the congregation, and they said, you are the ones who vote for politicians. Why not vote for politicians who won't make you feel uncomfortable when you give them the mic? Because you actually have that choice. Because everybody else who speaks, I don't know whether you've been in a funeral or a social setting, a lot of people speak in those settings. Nobody is warned until you get to the politician. Now wewe tumekupatia microphone, lakini ukumbuke uko kwa kanisa. So I was asking, why don't you, as local voters, ensure that the person you vote for doesn't give you cringeworthiness when he's about to be given a microphone?
And they're addressing you.
And they're addressing you, and you're the one who voted for them. So that's the same thing I want to say about now the whole idea of tribalism. It is up to us to decide that, because politicians flow with what the public wants. So if they're going along with tribalism, it means we have allowed them to do it. We keep, and I've said this on this platform many times, we want to point fingers at politicians a lot of the times. I mean, there they are, they're praying, they're doing national prayers today. We want to point fingers at politicians a lot of the times without remembering that politicians are actually representatives of us.
Yep.
Nobody in parliament today went in through a back door.
Nope.
He was voted by a group of people. Change the game, and then you'll change the politicians. Decide tribalism doesn't work, you'll change the politicians. But when I say we are cousins and we all get excited, it becomes a trend that it means we love that particular kind of conversation.
All right, well, let's take a break at this point. We're talking about, this card that's often played in this game, and